Hello there, everyone. I am Phylecia Jones, and I am so excited to be collaborating with Market It Light to bring you this amazing presentation on upgrading your speaking career for virtual events. Now, before we even get started, I have to let you know what's going on behind the scenes. Now, if you see me looking over to the left or to the right, I actually have multiple monitors going because this is one of the things I've learned when it comes to virtual speaking is that I have to have a presentation on one side, a timer on the other. And as a matter of fact, let's go ahead and start this timer. But these are just some of the little things that I've learned when it comes to upgrading my speaking career. And I hope to give you a couple of tips that will help you out as well. So let's go ahead and get started. Like I said, this presentation is called Upgrading Your Speaking Career for Virtual Events. Now, I am Phylecia Jones. I'm the lead researcher and founder of a company called I Find You Clothes here in the United States. And what I do and what my team and I do is that we actually go out and research speaking engagements around the globe and help speakers get on stage. I mean, that's pretty simple, and we actually love it. It's been a little challenging because of recent events, but you know what? We're still out there looking for some amazing events, and that's why I want to give you a little bit of the landscape of speaking right now. Now, I've been fortunate enough to be on quite a few different stages. I'm a two-time TEDx speaker. I've actually been on a television show answering personal finance questions here in the US. And of course, I've been on the stage over in Nottingham at Market It Live. And unfortunately, we can't be together right now, but maybe soon we will be together. So that's a little bit about me. And I'm just like you as a speaker. When some things started happening in the world, I had to switch over to being a virtual speaker. Now, I've done virtual speaking before, but gosh, never had I done as much virtual speaking as I'm doing now, which caused me to do a few things when it comes to upgrading what I was doing. So here's what we're going to learn today. We're going to talk about the landscape of speaking, the virtual tech side of it, from the stage to the camera, creating win-win agreements because you can't let people get over on you these days. And we're going to be looking into how to target virtual events. Now, who is this for? Who is virtual speaking for? It is for speakers who need to stay relevant. This is how you're going to stay relevant if you're a professional speaker or entertainer. If you're a business owner and you're wanting to increase your reach while still staying at home, this is perfect for you. If you are creators who want to market their brand, hands down, this is a great way for you to get on stage. And for my freelancers, if you want to showcase your expertise, this session is for you. So make sure you're in the right place. If not, just stick around anyway. You're going to learn a few things, okay? Now, let's talk about the landscape of speaking. Things are topsy-turvy at the moment when it comes to speaking. You know, we have had so many things change for us in 2020, but here's what I do want to tell you. After all of the research that we've done over the last 6 months, virtual speaking is definitely on the rise. And what we're seeing with a lot of events is this hybrid thing, you know, a little bit of virtual and a little bit of in-person events. So they are here to stay. If virtual isn't your thing, I know it's very painful, but you know what? You're going to probably have to get used to it. And if you are a person who wants to do in-person events, they still exist, but you will need to start targeting 2021 and 2022 to get on a live stage. Now, right now it's not 2022, so you need to fill in that gap. And what we're seeing is that a lot of events are hoping to come back online, fall of 2021. So you still have time to get out there, but right now, virtual is offering a great time to expose yourself. Not literally, but to expose yourself to new audiences, to new clients, to new customers, and a way to get back at your customers that you've previously worked for. So I do want to let you know, if live events are your thing, trust me, they will be coming back. But for right now, let's go ahead and figure out how we can make this virtual thing work for us. All right. All right. But the first thing you need to do is that you need to look at your virtual tech. And I hate to tell you, you need to look good. You really do need to look good. Now I'm going to come on camera right now. Now, here's the deal when it comes to virtual speaking. All of those other professional speakers, people who have been on the stage, they are just like you and me right now. They are still looking for engagements. And I have to tell you, It's going to be on you to up your A game when it comes to speaking virtually. One of the beautiful things that I've done here in my basement was I created a live stream studio. I got lighting. Remember, lighting is going to be so key. Please update your lighting. You know, you can go on all of the different internet places to buy lighting, ring lights, square lights. You need to do some extra lighting. And if you cannot do the lighting right now, there's this beautiful thing called the sun. Face toward the sun and you will have great natural lighting. Just make sure all of your events are in the daytime. Sound is going to be key as well. It's time to update those microphones. You may not want to use your laptop or computer microphone anymore, so let's go ahead and start updating that as well. And then the other thing I want to tell you is to check your bandwidth. Now, I know a lot of people might be saying, well, why am I worried about my bandwidth? Now, here's one of the things that we've learned in 2020. We had more people staying at home. So if you are a family of 5, the kids are on the internet, your spouse is on the internet, your dog or cat, they got to, do virtual meetings with their friends. That means your bandwidth in your home is probably going down. And if you are like us in my house, my husband is, oh my gosh, he's streaming basketball games and watching people play games, and I'm streaming like movies at the same time. So you need to go check your bandwidth, and this is one of the things that I want you to pay attention to. Call up your service provider. We did see earlier in 2020 in some places where they took off all of the limits when it came to bandwidth, but it might be time for you to upgrade your bandwidth, pay that little extra because it's going to be so key. And the other thing that you want to do when you are looking at the virtual tech side of everything is tell people to get off the internet. I know. You might be saying, well, how do I do that? But the reality is, if you are going to upgrade yourself to be a virtual speaker, you have to bring your A game. And this is what we are finally dealing with, is those who really do look good on camera, those who are not scared of the technology, those who will make sure their lighting is looking good. And I know you probably are saying, well, what does it have to do with anything? Now, the thing is, if you're still trying to command money, if you're still trying to get paid for your speaking, trust me, nobody wants to look up your nose through your camera on bad sound while cats and dogs are running in the background. So you're really going to have to pay attention to your environment. We want it quiet. We want great sound. We want great lighting. We want to make sure we have enough bandwidth so we're not cutting out, and because they might not even bring you back on. So make sure you do everything you can to make sure you can bring your A game. And the final thing I want to tell you is that get a lot of boxes. Now, I know some of you have been like ordering off of Amazon like crazy, just like my house. I don't even know if we have Christmas anymore because Amazon is Santa Claus. But the beautiful thing about all of those extra boxes is you can use those to raise up your laptop. If you're not using an external webcam, I need you to start raising that computer up, okay? Because I really don't want to look up your nose when we're on camera. So raise that camera up, put those boxes so that we can look eye to eye. That's what you're trying to achieve when it comes to this virtual speaking thing. So we've talked a lot about the virtual tech. Let's move on and talk about from the stage to the webcam. Now, this is going to be, at this point, you should know a few little tricks when it comes to going from the stage to the webcam. I have to tell you, one thing that is for certain when it comes to virtual, it is not like being on stage. It is not like having 50 people or 100 people, or if you're a big time speaker, thousands of people in the audience seeing what you do, interacting with you and clapping and booing. I don't know, hopefully you're not being booed, but it is not the same. So you're going to have to bring that energy as much as you can to the webcam. That means you might have to over-exaggerate a few things, over-exaggerate your smile, be a little bit happier than what you are, because you're going to have to make that connection through the camera. And I know it is very hard to do, but that's one of the things that's going to set you apart from those who have nailed this virtual thing down to those who are just getting started, okay? And my biggest goal is that you keep commanding the amount of money that you want when it comes to speaking, when it comes to training. So make sure you start practicing a few of those things when it comes to looking directly at the camera. One thing I will definitely say is stand up. Stop sitting down when you are speaking. What I'm noticing a lot now is that when people are sitting down speaking, they're slamming their hands on the desk and everything's shaking and they're making extra noises. Stop doing that. Remember, I want you to pretend like you're still on stage, okay? So make sure you stand up, give yourself some space. You probably can move around a little bit. Make sure you know when you're off camera, but I want you to make sure you stand up because you are still delivering to an audience. Even though they are at home, you're just going to be a little harder trying to engage with them through the camera. The other thing is look at the camera. I know. Look at the camera. Make sure you look at the camera. Now, when I first started doing my virtual speaking things, I was looking everywhere, like looking at the lights, and it's like, why are you looking there? Why are you looking here? You need to learn how to look at the camera. I've taken a little sticky note and I put it on my camera that says, look here. So just get familiar with your camera and where to look and stop looking all off into the regions. Unless there are people off camera, there's no one here with me. If there are, that would be a little scary. The other thing is put your pants on. Now, I need to go back to the camera here. Now, I know it might sound a little crazy, but I seriously need you to put your pants on. Yeah. I am starting to see that a lot of people are doing I look great up top, but I'm going to keep my pajama pants on at the bottom. Stop doing that because what's happening is when your virtual session goes bad or you have to get up, everybody sees everything. So make sure you put some pants on. Pretend that you are going on stage because seriously, would you show up at a live event with no pants on? Probably not. I mean, I'm not judging you. Just make sure you put some pants on. Remember, you still have to be professional, even if you're at home, in your basement, in your closet. So put your pants on, please. You don't have to put shoes on. You don't have to put Spanx on. But just make sure you put something else, other than pajamas. Because the thing is, it's going to make you feel like you are on stage, as close to feeling like you're on stage as possible. So just bring your A game, even with your pants and your shoes and with how you are looking. You got to remember, treat this like a live stage. And the other thing that I will say is, make sure you're not doing your presentations with a door with glass behind you. I've seen a lot of people that have those French doors with the windows and you see their kids doing weird things in the background. So make sure you are in a place where you won't get distractions behind you and you won't be distracted in front of you. So remember, we have to bring that same energy, that same level of commitment from the stage to the webcam. And we're going to have to work a little harder for it. I know, but that's just how it is right now. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is creating a win-win virtual speaking agreement. Now, like I've said before, this speaking in online or virtually is not the same as speaking in person. Because remember, when we were speaking in person, we can get our photos, we can get videos, we can get people to sign up right there in person. We can get video testimonials. We can get all of these amazing things from an in-person event. And the reality is, going virtual, you're not going to be able to get that kind of stuff. So here's what I want you to do. Before you say yes to this event, I want you to ask a lot of questions, okay? Ask a lot of questions because what we're seeing right now is that a lot of virtual events are slightly questionable because anybody can put one on. And I know us as speakers, as business owners that want to market our business, we get so excited when somebody asks us to be a part of something. But I want you to slow down before you say yes. Ask as many questions as possible, all right? And I want to let you know that if you want to get these slides, I'll have a great way for us to connect later or for a way for you to ask questions because you might have a few questions about what these questions are. But just remember, there's no crazy questions. You just got to start asking the right questions so that you can make sure you are setting yourself up for a great yes. Be sure to research the brand and the platform. Now, when it comes to the brand, I want you to make sure that you are connecting with somebody that you actually want to do business with, that you want to have your name associated with. Now, I know it can be really hard in the virtual world because you might have just been excited about getting on this platform. Just make sure you know who you are speaking for and who the audience is, okay? Who the audience is. Now, we can't sometimes be overly picky and choosy with audiences. I think we are getting to that point where we can now, but just remember, have a good idea of who you are talking to. Also, research the platform. that you're going to be delivering your event on. You'll be surprised that a lot of people who don't know how to use Zoom, or they may be using Google Hangouts, or they may be using something brand new that's flaky. Just make sure you understand what you are walking into so that you can be ahead of the tech game. Now, remember, because sometimes your camera may work with one software, your camera may not work with whatever they are using. This is why I want you to start asking questions, and this is why you got to be on top of your virtual game, your virtual tech game, because they may switch it up on you before you even know it, and you don't want that to happen. So make sure you ask questions. The other thing is, don't rush into speaking if you are not ready. All right. If you are not ready to go virtual, it's okay. You can say no. You don't have to say yes to everybody. All right. So make sure you're walking into a good agreement that will benefit you and your business. The other thing I will definitely say is, because you can't do a lot of that live stuff, the photos and the photos and the videos and meeting people, make sure you have an agreement with the host of this virtual event to get a testimonial. Make sure you have a way that people can connect with you. You got to keep putting that in the slides. I want you to connect with me on your social channels. Here's my website. You're going to have to do things a lot differently. And I know a lot of people still don't want us to sell blatantly when we're doing these virtual things, but you're going to have to work a little harder to make sure people will stay and watch your session and will convert to work with you a little bit later. I know it's a lot to really pay attention to, but I want to make sure we are making this the best for us and for the people on the other side. Now, I want to let you know that let me get myself off of camera here. I am actually doing a course on this, on how to take your speaking career virtual. So I know these slides will be available to you, but if you want to come get them from free over in my world as well, you can go to ifindyoukclose.com/go virtual. There's going to be some other free content over there where is some free content where we can talk about some of the other aspects of setting up a live streaming studio. You'll get the video where you can see how I set mine up and all of the knickknacks that are going on behind here. And there's going to be some upgradable content as well, where we are going to talk about finding virtual events, going deeper into that agreement on things that you can get up front, and some best ways to repurpose your presentations. Because why not? Why not reuse all of this work that you're doing, and some of the cool ways to present on camera. So if you're interested in that, let me get off here. Just go to ifindyoukclose.com/go virtual. And I'm just going to have a little bit more content on how to take your speaking career virtually. I know, it's so much fun. I actually like doing this. So I never knew that this was going to be a part of what I would end up doing in life. I don't think any of us did. All right, so now the final point. It is how to target virtual events. Now, my company, we do a lot of researching when it comes to events. And one of the oddest things that we're finding is virtual events aren't really posted in a lot of places. And we're finding that the call for speakers or how they are getting speakers is like the quickest turnaround. So what we'll see is somebody will announce an event on the 1st. They'll ask for speakers up until like the 5th, and then they will do the event on the 15th. So it is going so fast that we can't even keep up with it when it is published. So one of the things that we've noticed is that social media is actually a great place to find virtual events. You're going to have to start paying attention to your social channels, your groups. I'm finding that a lot of groups, Facebook groups, are doing their own little virtual private events. So make sure you pay attention to what's going on social media. Pay attention to Twitter. I'm seeing things that go really fast when they're looking for speakers, and other groups are recommending folks for speaking engagement. So it's going to be a little different than normal, but I'm finding that if your sole job is to get on stage to market your business, pay attention to social. Of course, you can come over and join us at I Find You Close, where we are finding these events. We're still finding live events and hybrid events, but in your smaller worlds, you're going to really want to pay attention to your social, and also reach out to local organizations. Now, I'm kind of deep over inside of the event planning, event management world, and just seeing how they are responding to virtual events and live events. And one of the biggest things that have come out of their July report, July 2020 report, is a lot of events are going smaller and they are going local. Reach out to your local people. They are always looking for people to engage with their audience because they need to create content to keep people, in tune until they get to their live event. So reach out to your local businesses, local chambers, local business events, and you'll be very surprised how many virtual events that you can probably, put together for them. And you might be able to create your own event and invite them. So make sure you start looking at local opportunities, especially when a lot of events are going into this hybrid mode. And hybrid could mean the live event and a virtual event are running side by side, or they are putting together a live event, say in 2021, but until then, they're doing a series of virtual events just to keep people excited. And another tip, when it comes to these win-win agreements, if this is an event that we'll be doing live, make sure you negotiate to be at the live event if you want to be there. So it could be a 2-for-1 if you do it right, okay? So make sure you reach out to your local organizations, because if people are going local, it's really gonna help you when it comes to getting on stage as a virtual speaker. And then the other thing is update your website and profiles. Update your website to show that you are an experienced virtual speaker. Update your website to show people that you are cool with the technology. You know how to use Zoom. You know how to use Hangouts. You know how to use Facebook Live. You know how to use OBS. You know how to use all of these third-party ways to get in. You have a camera. Right now, you're going to have to show people that I actually know how to do this, because remember, you're still competing with big-time people and they can hire all this stuff out. You still want to show people that you are amazing when it comes to virtual speaking. And the other thing is, take some photos. Get somebody in your house to come and take some photos of you speaking with the lights on, with your camera going. Like I said, it's not going to be the same as being in person, but it'll kind of give you a little bit of credibility so that people will know that you are not afraid of going on camera. Oh my gosh. So we've talked about a lot, and hopefully you've gotten something out of this. I really do have fun doing all of these things. And, one of the things that I've learned so much about doing the virtual speaking side is that you're going to have to put in a little bit of work, but it's going to be ultimate gains for you. And there is something really cool about being able to speak to your audience and to people and to move them through the camera and also still make money and market yourself off of it. So like I said, you're going to have to put in a little bit of work because it's not the same, but it can be done. So here are a few things that we need to remember. One, virtual opportunities are there, as well as live event opportunities when it comes to speaking. So all you have to do is just stay consistent. Just stay consistent. The events are coming, all right? Lighting and sound are key. Make sure your lighting is up to date. Make sure you are sounding good. Make sure you stand up. Make sure you are doing whatever it takes to make sure you can bring a quality video feed so that you can bring your A game. The third thing is still pretend that you're on stage. Put your pants on. Seriously, put your pants on. Do all the things that you need to do. Put your pants on. And just because you are at home or doing things virtually doesn't mean that you can slack off. So bring that same energy times 10. And remember, you're just talking to a camera, so you're going to have to work a little bit harder to win over that audience. Number 4, ask questions before you say yes. Ask a lot of questions. There are no silly questions when it comes to this speaking thing. So just make sure that the event is the right one for you. Make sure if you're gonna have to do a video, a pre-recorded video, because a lot of people are asking a lot of us these days. They want us to do pre-recorded and show up live at the same time. So you want to make sure you understand what are all the things that are going on inside of an event, because you don't want to sign up for doing 10 times more work and getting very little out of it. So remember that. And finally, social media is a great source when it comes to looking and finding virtual events for you to market yourself. Of course, we would love to help you over here at I Find You Clothes, but but hopefully these were just a few tips to get you started. Like I said, if you want to come and hang out with us, over at I Find You Clothes. Just go check out our website. You can go to ifindyoukclothes.com/go virtual. It's absolutely free. You'll get a version of the slides over there, some additional content. I'll give you the behind the scenes video of how I actually created this live streaming studio, all of the equipment, all of the details. It was actually really cool going through this. And just to let you know, I didn't spend a whole lot of money on some of the things that I have, but it has worked out very well. And we're going to give you just a few more updates on what it will take for you to get on a virtual stage and some of the little challenging parts of running into doing some of these virtual events. And one of the cool thing is how to monetize a little bit more from doing from speaking for someone else, because what we found now is that with these virtual events, you have the opportunity to actually record yourself and use it for yourself as well. So I am so excited that we were able to hang out. I got things beeping over here. I got monitors going. Like I said, I am Phylecia Jones. I am the lead researcher and founder of I Find You Clothes, and I'm so excited that I was able to bring you this session on upgrading your speaking career for virtual events. Take care.